There is now a widespread belief underpinned by growing scientific consensus that one of the biggest challenges facing humankind today is the issue of global warming caused by climate change. In Nigeria, environmental degradation, ecological crisis, waste management problems, flooding, deforestation, spread of gully and erosion, reduction of food production, local health problems like asthma, cholera, cancer, chronic bronchitis, blood disorder, and other diseases are highlights of climate change in the country. Now, at the One Planet Summit held in Paris in December last year, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari appealed to the international community to support Nigeria's commitment to reducing the effects of climate change. Now, joining me to look at Nigeria and global climate change, of course, an outlook for 2018, is a professor in environment and development in the Department of Geography and Environmental Science at the University of Reading, United Kingdom, Professor Chukwumerije Okereke, joining us from our Abuja studio. Good afternoon, Professor. Thank you very much for coming through to us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So Nigeria signed the Paris Agreement on climate change. How has the country fared so far in terms of meeting up with this agreement?
Following on the goodwill and understanding of the importance of climate change to the growth of the Nigerian economy, demonstrated by the President Buhari, in signing the Paris Agreement, Nigeria has also stipulated what is prepared to do to reduce its carbon footprint and has also sketched a national determined contribution. And as you have stated in your introduction, President Buhari has also attended the One Planet Summit in Paris, which is also a demonstration of understanding of the importance of climate change to the Nigerian economy. But going forward, I think it is important to now develop much more detailed sectoral plans that will help Nigeria to implement the nationally determined contribution, and also to spur wide-scale renewable energy revolution in Nigeria. There is also the need to set up a much more robust institutional framework that will enable Nigeria to have a more concerted approach to tackling the problem of climate change.
All right. Now, in dealing with the issue of climate change, of course, funding is key. And late last year, Nigeria issued about 10.9 billion green bond, which was oversubscribed, of course. How far do you think this money will go towards addressing some of the negative impacts of climate change in Nigeria?
It will go far. I am delighted to see that the green bond, which is a brilliant idea, has been oversubscribed by Nigerians. But it will not be the one-stop shop. There is a need to now ensure that the money generated through the green bond is invested in a way that is transparent, in a way that is accountable, in a way that really helps to spur technological innovation, especially in the area of renewable energy. Nigeria has abundant solar radiation. Nigeria can really leverage its natural economic comparative advantage in spurring renewable energy revolution. But also, there needs to be a framework that enables Nigerians to be able to hold the government to account to ensure that the money raised is being spent in the most effective and appropriate way. So it's a very good start, the green bond, but there is still a long distance to go. I think it may be important to note that Nigeria has not attracted as much international finance as it is capable of. Countries such as Rwanda and Ethiopia, who I have helped to design their national green growth plan, have attracted much more money in comparative terms than Nigeria. So the green bond is a very good start, but there is still quite a long way to go in order to ensure that we are pulling our weight, understanding the impact of climate change, and integrating climate change solution into the national economic recovery and growth plan.
Right, you talked about developing a very good framework for this. Now, what is your take on the Nigeria climate bill, which is at the final stages of being passed into law?
Yes, it's a very good bill. I have had the opportunity to look at it and to make input and to review it. My hope is that the Senate will move speedily to pass the bill and that the President Buhari can sign it into law as soon as possible. it is important to ensure that we have a robust institutional framework. Climate change costs across several sectors: transport, energy, environment, forestry, agriculture, etc. It is no longer fashionable or even the right way to go to have just one ministry, one department overseeing climate change action. In different climes like the UK and even in some African countries like Ethiopia, Rwanda, and Kenya, they now have a much more sophisticated national framework that is helping them to understand the cross-sectoral implications of climate change and to roll out a much more robust approach to tackling it. As I said, the president has shown a lot of goodwill and interest in the situation and in the problem, but he needs to now go faster to convert this into huge political capital by attracting serious international finance in the climate change realm and the green economy.
All right, Nigeria will be hosting the Lake Chad conference. That's in February this year. What key issues should that conference address or be looking at in terms of this climate change matter?
That's a very good question, Chimezie, because I've spoken to a number of people, especially in the security agencies in Nigeria, who seem not to understand that there is a huge and intimate relationship between climate change and some of the security challenges that we're having. And one of the key areas is Lake Chad, which has shrunk by over 67% since 1980. And the shrinking of Lake Chad is one of the key factors that is pushing the Hausa Fulani herdsmen down south and resulting in some of the clashes that we are then seeing in the Benue axis and even further south. So this forthcoming conference is a welcome opportunity to begin to address in a concerted way the problem of Lake Chad, to understand the security implications of the drying up of Lake Chad, the international relationship implications, and to put in place effective river basin management approach that will help to stem the problem. So I hope that people will not see it as merely an environmental issue, but that our security people and agencies will show interest, that President Buhari himself will show interest in understanding the intimate connections between the problem that we're having in Lake Chad and the wider security issues or challenges in the country.
All right, just before I let you go, just a very quick one. What outlook do you see there, in dealing with climate change in 2018?
I can't hear her anymore.
Oh, well, we seem to have lost contact with Professor Chukwumerije Okereke. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Professor Chukwumerije is an environment and development professional in the Department of Geography and Environmental Science at the University of Reading, UK.